Well, hello, groovy souls. Welcome back to the High Vibe Home podcast. I'm your host, as always, Nixie Marie. It is a new month rolling up for us, and guess what that means? We got the July vibe of the month. We've got the energy forecast, major astrology themes, things that are going on in the consciousness, the ebbs and flows, and how you can bring it all back to the place you call home. I actually wanted to start off this episode today with a card reading. I have missed tarot so much. I actually have been just diving into oracle decks and not really using the tarot much. So I got a new deck. This is the Wandering Star by Kat Pierce. And I'm going to pull a card for us to tune into what it is that you can hear my shuffle there, what it is that we're going to be feeling. What's the theme? Let's ask our guides, what are we going to be experiencing the month of July, and how can we be supported? Give us a message and let us feel that energy coming in. Okay, we've got the card for the month of July. This is the Four of Pentacles, and of course this is absolutely appropriate for the month of July and some of my energy forecasts and things I've already written down for this theme. I put down, major themes this month are transitions, self-care, healthy habits, and relationships. And the Four of Pentacles is really all about, when we're talking about the pentacles, this is always coming back to the actual physical plane, like the money, the things that happen on our physical reality. And because we have the number 4 here, 4 represents stability, and it is the structure in which we really need to build a home. So savings, building a solid foundation, a lot of this, let me just tune in a little more too, because I really am feeling this money theme continue to evolve. We talked a lot about money and how to build wealth using Feng Shui, and it is just a big theme. I've been having so many conversations around finances and what's going on in the world, and a lot of fear around money and scarcity conversations coming up for individuals, including myself. There's so many changes happening on the planet. So I really think there was actually something I wrote here in my report for this month to keep a close eye on finances and make sure that you have security, stability, savings in place, a foundation, and really allowing that money flow to come in. And one of the things that really came up when I was doing a reading actually the other day with this deck is that you get to be creative with how you bring your money in. If right now times are a little tight, use your skills and your creativity to bring in extra income. I'm a pretty big advocate for having an external source of income, whether that be a side hustle, a way for you to bring in some extra income that is aligned to something that is your skill set. So whether that be, sewing or arts and crafts or singing or music or anything that you're a skilled practitioner at, it could be tarot readings, right? To really start just offering that up to your friends and family, to someone that maybe would benefit this. It doesn't need to become like a whole business per se, but it can be something that's just going to help support you during the transitionary periods that we're really in right now. And especially to create maybe some extra income flow. And that is really, the next action step when it comes to feng shuiing our space. And if you listen to the previous episode where we talked about how to dive deeper into expanding your wealth, this was last month's episode, and how you can use feng shui to enhance your wealth corner and your life. This is the next step. It's like, how do we do that? How do we put action? How do we plant the seeds? What action steps do we need to take in order to bring in that extra money flow? Because every now and then I do get some surprise checks in the mail, of course, and at the same time we do have to put in the physical work in order for that financial flow to come in. So get creative with yourself and get creative with your community, your family. Maybe you have kids and you want to do a lemonade stand and teach them about how to make money. It's starting to be we're in the summer now. So of course over here, on this side of the hemisphere. So there's a perfect time to like maybe do a car wash. I don't know. I used to do car washes and lemonade stands when I was a kid. I love doing car washes. I don't know if you know, but I love cleaning. I'm a weirdo, I know. So anyways, that's our card for the month, the Four of Pentacles, bringing us stability, security, focusing on our savings, having a good solid foundation in our finances. So perfect for this month. All right, what's going on in this month of July? Well, we've moved into Cancer season, and Cancer is the king or queen of the home, right? Cancers generally tend to love to stay home. They love to be surrounded by a cozy, peaceful, calm space. So I have a lot of ideas and ways that you can really hone in on this Cancer season. It's really a perfect time, first and foremost, to upgrade your space. So if there's something in your home, whether it be a new doorknobs or it's a new window seal or anything that needs an upgrade, this month is a perfect time to do so. The major themes, like I mentioned, is transition, self-care, cultivating healthy habits, and relationships. There's a lot of things going on in the relationship world right now, definitely because of the astrological transits, which we will talk about shortly here. And it's plastic-free July, you guys. I'm a nerd when it comes to plastic-free life, hence my company Clarity, where we make all natural cleaning products that are plastic-free. And more than that, these cleaning products actually work. Okay? These are products that are going to actually help benefit you in cleaning your home, and they're plastic free. So I would also want to just throw in there, with my sustainability mindset and everything I love about the planet, what can you do for the planet, the big home, the mega home this month? I would really want to invite you into bringing in a healthy habit. I usually, during Plastic Free July, I actually start to bring in something that I can eliminate in my life for the entire year. Sometimes I do this in the new year and then I amp it up or reflect on my new year plastic free goal. And it's such a great way to check in with yourself. How have you been on your zero waste journey? Is there something you can do better in your home? Because here's the thing, you guys, plastic is so toxic to not only our system, but our planet and our home environment. When we use too much plastic, when we ingest plastic, there's so many things now that are showing up, and our science backing, how important it is for us to eliminate single-use plastics in our day-to-day life. So I want to invite you into thinking that, just planting a little seed for you there. And the more natural elements we bring into our home, the more we are bringing in that good chi and energy that is connected to nature itself, right? That's the goal with Feng Shui, is always creating that space that is aligned with nature. It's also Mental Health Awareness Month, which I've mentioned before on another episode. I've really been seeing some close dear ones next to me struggle with this, and it's such a perfect month to use your voice. If you're struggling, go get help, and also set your space up and declutter so that your mental health is going to reap the benefits of having a healthy home. And if you're really struggling with that, maybe it's time to hire a organizer, someone who can come in and help you. Don't be ashamed of that, guys. Like, if you have a home that really needs help physically, and you can't hire me because I'm virtual and I can't come in there and physically help you remove things, I would absolutely encourage you to bring someone into your space that can be a medium, that can be of support to help you get rid of those things. And don't be ashamed of it, because guess what? Those people have zero judgment. Those people who do that, I think that they're angels, because I used to do it. And yes, I might be calling myself an angel, but it's a very beautiful experience when you have somebody in your home that can help you navigate through the clutter, through the mental clutter, through all of those things. And I'm kind of on a kick right now with a new show on Peacock that's called Swedish Death Cleaning. And I'm going to do a YouTube review on it because I'm not through the entire series yet, but I am just head over heels in love with this series. It's so inspiring. I'm personally going through a home transition myself, and I'm learning more ways that I can easily navigate through those home transitions, decluttering, getting rid of things. And it is such a powerful show. So I'm going to give more on that later, but it's definitely been at the forefront of my mind right now. And the people that come in and actually do the Swedish death cleaning, which I don't want to give too much away, because if you're into that, you should definitely check it out. But they are just such beautiful people. And if you watch this show, you'll realize that decluttering is a deeper process than just removing stuff from your space. And it really, really benefits your mental health. So those are the big themes coming up for us in July, as far as energy goes, and physical things and themes and stuff going on in our months, and everything with Plastic Free July and Mental Health Awareness Month. And some questions that I want you to explore is, number one, how do you express yourself at your home or in your home? Do you feel like you are being expressed in your home? Really ask yourself that question. I actually see this all the time, that we're not, or my clients, students, or whoever for that matter, myself included, there's a lack of self-expression. And guess what that does to you? If it's not who you are and you're not living in an environment that's really you, this actually chips away at your soul, because you're not surrounded by joy and inspiration and happiness in your environment. And it's so important. So this month, ask yourself that question and begin to implement some things that do express yourself. Maybe it's a new piece of art, or it's a new plant, or it's a new crystal, whatever is like, whoever you are is what should be in your space. You walk into my home, you probably know it's my home right away. I've got crystals, plants, altars everywhere, fountains, and you name it. You guys would just immediately know this is Nixie Marie's home. And you feel it when you walk in. And that's the goal we want to have in your space. Another question I want you to ask yourself is, what healthy habits in your personal life and home life need to shift? And the next question I want you to ponder this month is, what healthy habits in both your personal and home life need to shift? Now, this could be making your bed, something as simple as that. Like waking up, the first thing you do is make your bed. Healthy habit number one. I'm reading the Tim Ferriss, giant Tools of the Titans book. My husband and I have been in a ritual where before we go to bed, we're in bed and we read a little excerpt, like one of the blurbs from one of those teachers, Tools of the Titans, one of the Titans. And, we've been really digesting and learning a lot. I learned that you can do Tetris before you go to sleep if you have sleep insomnia, because you start to get your subconscious into a state where you just kind of see these squares moving, and then it allows you to fall asleep. So I am learning some really valuable stuff in that book. And one of the things that they consistently say, almost every Titan says, make your bed in the morning for setting yourself up for success for the day. So that could be something you start with. It could also be a healthy habit in terms of you personally increasing your physical ritual, how you take care of yourself, doing lemon water in the morning versus directly going into your coffee. I really just want you to think about cultivating healthy habits, because there's this theme around self-care and healthy habits and relationships, really, and transitions, all that stuff. We have to come back to our habits. Another good book recommendation is actually sitting on my desk right now, is Atomic Habits by James Clear. That book, you guys, this book is remarkable. It even says tiny changes, remarkable results. And it's an easy way to build good habits and break ones. And now I'm actually remembering why I have this book on my desk, is because there was a passage about how to design your environment for success that I wanted to read to you. So I'm going to read to you this passage now. Sit back, relax, and tune in if you're not already. During the energy crisis and oil embargo of the 1970s, Dutch researchers began to pay close attention to the country's energy usage. In one suburb near Amsterdam, they found that the homeowners used 30% less energy than their neighbors, despite the homes being of similar size and getting electricity for the same price. It turned out that the houses in this neighborhood were nearly identical, except for one feature: the location of the electrical meter. Some had one in the basement. Others had the electrical meter upstairs in the main hallway. As you may guess, the homes with the meter located in the main hallway used less electricity. When their energy use was obvious and easy to track, people changed their behavior. Every single habit is initiated by a cue, and when we are more likely to notice cues that stand out, we take action. Unfortunately, the environments where we live and work often make it easy not to do a certain action because there is no obvious cue to trigger the behavior. It's easy not to practice the guitar when it's tucked away in the closet. It's easy not to read a book when the bookshelf is in the corner of the guest room. It's easy not to take your vitamins when they are out of sight in the pantry. When the cues that spark a habit are subtle or hidden, they are easy to ignore. By comparison, creating obvious visual cues can draw your attention towards a desired habit, aka Feng Shui. In the early 1990s, the cleaning staff at an airport in Amsterdam installed a small sticker that looked like a fly near the center of each urinal. Apparently, when men stepped up to use the urinals, they aimed for what they thought was a bug. The sticker improved their aim and significantly reduced spillage around the urinals. Further analysis determined that the stickers cut bathroom cleaning costs by 8% per year. I've experienced the power of obvious cues in my life. I used to buy apples from the store, put them in the crisper in the bottom of the refrigerator, and forget about them all day. By the time I remembered, the apples would have gone bad. I never saw them, so I never ate them. Eventually, I took my own advice and redesigned my environment. I bought a large display bowl and placed it in the middle of the kitchen counter. The next time I bought apples, that was where they went, out in the open, where I could see them. Almost like magic, or Feng Shui, I began eating a few apples each day simply because they were obvious rather than out of sight. Here are a few ways that you can redesign your environment and make the cues for your preferred habits more obvious. Number 1, if you want to remember to take your medication each night, put your pill bottle directly next to the faucet on the bathroom counter. Number 2, if you want to practice guitar more frequently, place your guitar stand in the middle of the living room. Number 3, if you want to remember to send more thank you notes, keep a stack of stationery on your desk. That one's kind of random, but I like that. We need to send more thank you notes. And lastly, if you want to drink more water, fill up a few water bottles each morning and place them in common locations around the house. If you want to make a habit a big part of your life, make the cue a big part of your environment. The most persistent behaviors usually have multiple cues. Consider how many different ways a smoker could be prompted to pull out a cigarette, driving the car, seeing a friend smoke, feeling stressed at work, and so on. The same strategy can be employed for good habits. By sprinkling triggers throughout your environment, you increase the odds that you'll think about your habit throughout the day. So make sure the best choice is the most obvious one. Making a better decision is easy and natural when the cues for good habits are right in front of you. Environment design is powerful, not only because it influences how we engage with the world, but also because we rarely do it intentionally. Most people live in a world others have created for them. But you can alter the spaces where you live and work to increase your exposure to positive cues and reduce your exposure to negative ones. Environment design allows you to take back control and become the architect of your life. Be the designer of your world and not merely the consumer of it. I mean, that's just so potent and powerful, explaining how our habits that we do every single day are greatly affected by our environment. And a huge part of what Feng Shui brings in is intentional design, so that environments are setting us up for success versus working against us. So this is the big theme this month. And I'm really excited because I am really recreating some new habits that I've been really good at, actually. One of them is my skincare routine. I have I was kind of the girl that sometimes didn't wash my face, right? And I think we're all a little guilty of that every now and then. But I really made it like a disciplined ritual that no matter what, I am washing my face every single night and morning, which was a new thing for me. I don't normally wash my face in the morning unless I take a shower. But I now use a specific a ritual that I put different things on my face, and I love it. It's just, I've fallen in love with this. And I will say there has been some massive shifts in my life after I have been really disciplined about this with myself. And like I said, we can start very minimally with just making our bed or a skincare routine or something that just gets us started. And I actually put my skincare routine like right in front of my bathroom counter so that I know to do it every single morning and night. And that's how I set my environment up for success. So it's really important to hone in on that this month and make a list of the things that you want to cultivate, those habits that aren't habits because you haven't been consistent with it. And the whole point of this Atomic Habits book is about the small changes that make these big results. So I'm here for it. I hope you are too. And further down the road, in the month of July, I want to get into some of these astrological transits that we're actually going to be seeing some. This is kind of where I get some of my information and the energy reports after really tuning into some of the Feng Shui readings that I pull from. It's very similar, Feng Shui and astrology. Honestly, it's really fascinating because the energies are very aligned in terms of, themes, and also with the season of it being Cancer. And so when we're talking about, self-care and healthy habits, it's really a common thing for Cancer. Cancer is all about the healthy habits, the stability, the consistency. And when it comes to astrology, we have a full moon on July 3rd and a new moon on July 17th. And then bigger than that, Mars is actually entering Virgo. So we also have some more, Virgo ruling Mars, and Mars is the planet of action and passion. And so it will move forward into this Virgo sign, which is the sign of details, spreadsheets, and rituals and habits. So this is where all the things kind of dance together. And Virgo rules over everything that comes down to our daily lives. I'm actually a Virgo moon, so I'm very connected to Virgo. My mom's a Virgo, my sister's a Virgo. Because Mars rules the planet of action, it's time to just take that action, right? We talked a lot about inspired action when it comes to the summer solstice. Now we're in the summer. Don't delay your action into your habits. And like I said, start small. Don't make it big. Make it fun and magical. It doesn't need to be all mundane and boring. Keep it fun and keep it flirty, right? And then we also have the North Node entering Aries on July 17th. So mid-July, we have this North Node coming from Taurus, going back into Aries. And at this point, there's always some sort of retrograde going on, but this North Node represents our collective karma, our dharma, our purpose, and it really changes every single year. This actually changes at signs every year and a half. So we're coming out of the last year and a half, it's been in Taurus, and now we're moving into Aries. So when you think about Aries and the North Node is all about, like I said, karma, our dharma, what we're here to really set out to be. And if we're coming from Taurus, a little more structured in finances and stability, and maybe a little more stubbornism going on there, in the focus of the grand picture, now we're moving into Aries. So we've got a lot of fire kind of erupting into this North Node. And again, that comes back to action. It comes back to looking at also the relationships that don't serve us and embracing our fiercest, most passionate self and desire. It's time to let all of you out, that power that you are within yourself, and don't hide this power. Don't deny this power. I just had such an unraveling, shedding of this snake with a very big, I want to say it's kind of maybe a dark night of the soul that I'm sort of navigating through right now. And that transition, into my true essence and my true power. And I think a lot of us in the collective are really experiencing that. And a North Node going into Aries is only going to help embrace that part of us. So if you're feeling it and you need to shed some skin, let it go. Drop what doesn't serve you. It's time to really invoke who you are at your core, right? So we have, lastly, a Venus retrograde in Leo from July 22nd to September 3rd. So what does this mean for us? We are going to see this is actually considered to be one of the most important transits of the summer. Venus, all about the love, right? Love, energy, relationships. This is again why we're looking at this theme being around relationships. So because it's going from July through September and will remain in Leo for that period, this retrograde is going to ask us to reflect on our relationships and reevaluate the connections that aren't, again, serving us, but more importantly, aren't allowing us to show up authentically. Maybe we're feeling a little like energy depleted or unworthy, or we have to dim ourselves around certain individuals. This is what I'm talking about. And it because it's in Venus, it's retrograding in Leo, we've got some of that ego coming from Leo, maybe ruling the show. So whatever relationships are showing up in a egoic way, not serving you, bye-bye, let them go. And also we've got this unsupportive. So when it's in a retrograde, we technically don't have support. So Leo being this powerhouse, this courageous, loving, heart opening, also egoic, lots of stuff going on there with Leo. We also have this pause in that space, right? Maybe we aren't operating from our heart space. So we want to really look at the shadow side of Leo and see who is making us feel a certain way that isn't really healthy or good for us to really be ourselves and show up in our full lion power, because we all have that, whether you're a Leo or not, we all have that. However, what I am discussing, if you're a Virgo, Aries, or Leo, you're in for it this month. No, more importantly, you just have you're going to experience these astrological transits a little bit more heightened, right? So it's definitely a great time to go back to your center, go within, get another practice that's going to help you go inside yourself, because this is that time to nurture who you are, to be able to be expressed fully in all of your gifts and all of your powers, and really ignite that fire. I mean, I am feeling this summer solstice energy for sure. Today that I'm recording this, it's actually the summer solstice tomorrow. So I can literally feel this light like busting through me. So I'm recording this a little early, but I'm going to be traveling. So I am getting all my recordings out early. And it is like this energy that I'm really tuning into is actually really joyful energy. I see a lot of the trees singing, the birds singing, the butterflies out, and collectively we sing. Collectively we raise our vibration. Collectively we raise our frequency when the sun is out and singing with herself. Now, I really think that's because so many of us have had such a tough winter, and it's so exciting to have the sun come back. And then I bet we're all going to be hating ourselves once that really big heat wave comes in. So, we can't have everything perfect, right? But I do want to say the energy currently at this time feels very happy and very joyful. And so what I want to say to that is bring more play into your day this month. If you have the ability to take a 4-day work week or get off an hour earlier than your normal schedule, do it. Just do it, and leave room for magic. Leave room for an unplanned day, where you just drive and follow your intuition and let it guide you to where you're supposed to be. I just had a really cool, synchronistic moment doing that, where I really felt called to go to this witchy shop, Psychic Eye bookstore in Woodland Hills, where I haven't been in forever. And I was like, I really want a new deck. And unfortunately, I didn't end up finding one there. I had pretty much every deck that they had. So that didn't work out. But I did end up running into a good friend of mine. And that was really sweet, because we just sat and chatted. And she's like a little fairy sister. And it was just lovely to have those moments where we run into, these soul connections. And that's just a synchronistic sign saying, you're on the right path, honey. Like, you're absolutely divinely aligned. And those are those moments where we have to just throw out the plan, tap into the flow, let things go, and flow, flow, flow. I was going to rhyme there, and then I kind of lost it because my little kitten is about to destroy everything on my desk. So I am going to wrap it up. That is the vibe of this month, July. We are definitely going to have a fun month, and I hope that this episode really served you and your home. Definitely a lot of tips here, but I hope you're taking away. It's all about these healthy habits this month and seeing what needs to shift. So thank you all for being here once again. My name is Nixie Marie, your host of the High Vibe Home podcast. And as a reminder, if you are interested in working with me, my books are open for the month of July and August. I am taking on new clients. Really excited about that. I've actually done some new back-end work to be able to make this process, like the Feng Shui consulting process, really a little more enhanced and vibrant. So if you're interested, you can go ahead and book a discovery call for free. We can discuss your goals of your space. I'll give you a couple tips to start off with, and we can evaluate your space during that discovery call and figure out which Feng Shui package is right for you. I like to start my packages anywhere from a one-room package to a giant, let's do the whole house package, but there's a wide range for everyone, and I'd love to meet you and connect with you in that way. So I hope that I will see you all next week, whether that be on YouTube. If you haven't followed me over there, check my YouTube out, Nixie Marie. I upload a video every single week, totally unrelated to the podcast, so it's a little different. And follow me over on Instagram, Nixie Marie. And don't forget to leave a rating and review for the High Vibe Home podcast. I'd love to hear your feedback. All right, everyone. Bye for now. And don't forget to keep that chi flowing.